morning, folks. I think we're live. I've tried a different setup this morning. So, different camera. We're back with the camera we used right at the start of lockdown. Different control of the live stream. I'm gonna have to keep tapping this every 30 minutes. Remind me in the chat if you remember. Otherwise, that's going to go off. I'm not going to see anything. Good morning and welcome back. It's Adventurous Ukuleles time again. It's a rainy Saturday morning in the end of November 2020. What a year this has been. Yeah, you've all been through it, same as me. Who knows what 2021 will bring? Hopefully some brighter prospects. But we're still making music and we're still live streaming. Most Saturdays since March we've done this. We've done over 30 different songs. So I'm amazed we're still doing this. And guess what, guys? It's nearly Christmas. It caught me by surprise when I did... Last week we were doing a Muse song. And I had no thought of Christmas songs at all. And Sophia just pointed out to me, my wife, we've only got 3 live streams left until we break for the Christmas holidays. Such as the holidays will be. That means it's time to start doing Christmas tat, folks. However, we don't do tat on this channel. We do quality music. So I thought I'd start with my favourite Christmas piece of music. This is a piece of music that is pinched from... Half of it, the best bit, is pinched from Prokofiev, Sergei Prokofiev. It's the Troika from... I didn't look at the film. It was written for a film. But Greg Lake pinched that rather lovely piece of music and put it in his own non-Christmas song. That's definitely a Christmas song. It's a suitably wistful, slightly bittersweet song about Christmas and hope and faith and doubt and belief and the fact that it just kept on raining, just like today. So that's what we're going to be looking at this morning. It's got one of my most favouriteest ukulele lines ever, as Sam Gamgee would say. We've got plenty of people on the chat. Do let me know how you're getting on, if I've missed anything. Yes, David, I'm trying not to jinx it. Good to see you. Hollingsworth are here. Joe, the Escots are here, yes. We've got He's a Zulu. Good morning, everyone. Right. Make sure your ukuleles are in tune. This is a G. This is a C. This is an E. And this is an A. You've also got the music, which I will put on the screen later on. But you can find it in the video description underneath the video, or sideways on the video, depending what you're watching on. You will find a link to that PDF. There's 2 sides to it this week. So do pause the video, download that, get it on your screen, or print it out if you want it in front of you. I will put it on the screen in a minute, though. We have a few announcements to do first. No extra video to show you this week. I'll show you the video for the song we're about to do very soon. But first of all, I should say the ukulele collaboration that we've been planning and we've voted on is now ready. And I know the Flints in particular are very excited about this. I'm hoping they're here this morning. If not, then they'll be watching it later. The collaboration you've chosen to do by means of democratic vote. All the votes have now been counted and all the lawsuits are over about the recount. Final countdown is the choice of the masses. And I've done a backing track for you guys to play along with. So if you want to be part of that ukulele collaboration, you need to sign up to the mailing list. I haven't put the link for the instructions page and the downloads page in the description because I could get thousands of people just sending me stuff to my Dropbox folder. I'd rather not have that. So if you'd like to take part, you will need to sign up to the mailing list. There's a link in the description. It's on a tiny letter. Don't worry if you don't actually want to be on the mailing list. You could also unsubscribe yourself straight away again. Well, not straight away, but if you sign up by the end of this week, I will then resend the link for the downloads and the instructions to everyone who's on the mailing list at the end of the week. Those of you who are already on the mailing list will have got it late last night when I finished it. And what you'll see if you go to the link that you get from the mailing list is a website. Oh, let me move to the top of the page. It'll be on my Aquifer Music website. You will see Final Countdown collaboration and some basic instructions. Video yourself playing or singing or dancing along with one of the guide tracks, and then send it to me using the Dropbox link. That's it. There are detailed instructions there as well. Make sure you film in landscape, use headphones, all that kind of stuff. Do read through those instructions before you do any filming. It saves you a lot of time and effort. Filming yourself is hard work. Then if we scroll down there, you'll see this is where all the music can be found. You've got the ukulele chords that we used in the live stream a long time ago. I've redone the score. There's a bass score. There's a ukulele 2, which is the chords strumming. There's ukulele 1, which is the da-da-da-da. That bit, and also the solo. Some of you have been having a go at the solo. Looking forward to hear that. And we've also got the voice score if you want to do some singing, which I really like. Here is the backing tracks. There's several different ones. Now, I think you guys will hear a really loud clip any moment. Probably drowning me out. But still it's farewell. So I've got a guide backing track for you there. There's also a backing track with no vocal on if you want to do your own vocals. Great. There's also a backing track with no bass on if you want to record your own bass part and hear what you're playing. Looking at you, Andy. So basically download one or more of those backing tracks, stick them on headphones, play along with them and film yourself doing it. Kazoos welcome, ukuleles welcome, basses are welcome. Any instrument you want to do really, including dancing and singing, you are welcome to play. Keep it fairly fun. Let's not have any massive shred electric guitar solos. Although, you know, I might put a clip in that in if you send me one. There are also some backing tracks for the solo. We know the solo is quite tricky. Go back and have a look at the previous live stream we did of this one for instructions on it. It was a long time ago, that live stream. I've done a backing track at full tempo with and without the lead part. Then one at 90 beats per minute. And then one at 60 beats per minute, which is really slow. It's almost half tempo. So you should be able to play one of those solos, hopefully. And then at the bottom, we've got a link to the old tutorial. Let's switch back to the camera. There we go. And we're back on the camera, hopefully. So that is the ukulele collaboration link. Do sign up to the mailing list, which the link is in the description, if you want to receive that link to that website. Right, now that bit's out of the way. Let's have a listen. Oh, yeah. Joe's saying that looks like a lot of work on the backing tracks. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. They're very, very rough, those backing tracks. The idea is that if I can take out all the parts that I've recorded and just have you guys on there, I will. It might be fun for me to join in as well, but I really want this to be a huge collaboration, mostly of you guys playing this. The more people singing this, the better as well. You know, if I get a whole crowd of people going, "It's the final countdown," at the top of their voices, that'll be great. Anyway, I'll try and get that done, depending how many videos we get in, by the end of the year. No promises, but my ambition is to get that done before Christmas or before January. Right, what are we doing this morning? We're doing Christmas songs. It is optional whether you have a hat or not. This is the hat I normally have. However, it is Christmas today. Well, it's not Christmas today, but it's the 1st of Advent tomorrow. I've borrowed William's hat. It doesn't quite fit me, but hey, it's my fairy lights have been up all year, so I need to do something else to mark that it's getting on towards Christmas. So let's have a listen to the track we are going to play today. This is one of the very first YouTube videos I ever did, inspired by my brother-in-law, who said, "Just do something, Tim, do something." So I did, and this was it back in September last year, and here we go. They said there'd be snow this Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. But instead it just kept on raining, a veil of tears for the virgin birth. And I remember one Christmas morning, a winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, eyes full of tinsel and fire. They sold me a dream of Christmas. They sold me a silent night. They told me a fairy story till I believed in the Israelite. And I believed in Father Christmas, and I looked to the sky with excited eyes, and I woke with a yawn in the first light of dawn. I saw him through his disguise. I wish you a hopeful Christmas. I wish you a brave new year. Let all anguish and pain and sorrow leave your heart and let your road be clear. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Hallelujah, Noel, be it heaven or hell, the Christmas you get you deserve. Okay, welcome back. That was I Believe in Father Christmas by Greg Lake, with extracts from the Troika by Sergei Prokofiev. So let's have a look at how to play it. I'm going to put the chords on the screen. Hopefully this works. There we go. Still see the ukulele? Yes. Right. Now, we need 7 different chords to play this, and at first glance at the top of the sheet where the chord charts live, it looks a little bit daunting. We've got the only chord that doesn't have any numbers or letters attached to it is a normal C, which we should be pretty familiar with, but all of the rest had some sort of extension or modification to them. That can look pretty daunting, and certainly the chord chart is filled with add 9s and sus4s and 7s and add 11s and 6ths, but they're not as bad as they look. Trust me, there are no bar chords. All of the chords involve some open strings. There are no 4-fingered chords. The most you're going to need is 3 fingers or 2 fingers with a mini bar. And it's designed to be easy to play. It just had to, by naming the chords, they have to have funny names because they're a bit unusual. So don't panic. It is adventurous ukuleles though, after all. It's almost easy enough though for beginners to play this song. So if you're watching thinking, oh my goodness, I can never play that, well, give it a go before you say that, because I think this is actually quite an easy piece to play. So we need to be primarily to be able to play C. That should be straightforward to most of you. We also want to include an F add 9. This is one way to play an F add 9. That is keeping the ring finger down or little finger down for the C chord, and then adding your first finger on to fret 1 on the E string. All the others are open. Normally with an F we have the second finger down on the A string, on the G string, but I'm going to leave that one open, give me a G in the F chord, which is that added 9th. We can also play an F add 9 like this. All I'm doing is swapping an A for a C. They're both in the F chord, so it's just a different voicing of the chord. And we will use that one later on, but normally when I write F add 9, I mean this one. We also need to be able to play a G7 sus4, which is the same as the F add 9, but with my second finger down on the second fret of the C string. Sounds very similar. One note difference. G7 sus4. So C, F add 9, G7 sus4. This chord sequence that we're about to play is very similar to another song we've done on Livestream, which is Slow down, you move too slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make it the morning last. It's very, very similar shapes to that one. And in fact, the verse of this song, section A, as I've labelled it here, is just those three chords on a loop. So let's have a look at section A first. F add 9, followed by a C, followed by a G7 sus4, followed by a C. That is the chord sequence. Should be pretty straightforward for most of you. Keep that ring finger or little finger down on the third fret of the string nearest the floor, and just add in your first finger for the F and your first and second finger when it's a G. So I'll probably say F for F add 9, and I'll probably say G for G7 sus4, but we almost always play those extensions rather than just the plain chords. So we've got to count in 2 for this song. We're in 2/4, so that means 2 beats on each chord in this case. So it's going to sound like this: 1, 2, 2, 2, F add 9, C, 2, G7, C, and again F add 9, C, G7 sus4, C, and again. Oh, I played the wrong one there. There's a very subtle difference between these chords. The F add 9, and in particular the G7 sus4, are very close to each other, but they just give enough difference to resolve it when we come back to the C. So with the words, this song sounds like this. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. That's how we fit it in. It's very, very straightforward, that section A. I'm strumming once per bar there. That is a really nice way to start this song off, but there are other alternatives. When we get into it a bit more, we can start strumming more often. Maybe twice per bar, once per beat. You can even put the upstrokes in. And then we've got 3 layers of kind of busyness of that accompaniment there. That is really all there is to section A. The tune carries on more or less the same. I should say, actually, I love the words of this song. If I could reinvent a Christmas greeting, I would say, I wish you all a hopeful Christmas, and I wish you all a brave new year. I think it's fantastic. None of this happiness and merriment. Yes, happiness and merriment are all very well, but we need courage and we need hope sometimes as well, in particular when we're in the middle of a global pandemic and none of us can really see our families, and if we do, we risk killing them with a strange virus. So hope and courage, I love the sentiment of this song. We'll get to that third verse though. That's in the first verse is, they said there'd be snow at Christmas and they said there'd be peace on earth, but instead it just kept on raining. A veil of tears for the virgin birth. Poetry, folks. It's poetry. It's a very Tim song, if any of you know me. So that is section A. Really not too bad. We can also do a finger picking pattern, so I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's have a look at section B. This is a trickier one because you've got some B flat chords in there and some scary looking G add 11s, or they're not so hard. So when we get to section B, we need to play a B flat 6. It's not a full B flat. We could do that if we wanted to. I've tried to make it a bit easier and play a B flat 6. Again, it adds a kind of sparkle and a crunch to this chord. But we do need to have, I would strongly suggest anyway, one finger covering 2 strings for this B flat. So my first finger is squashing down on the A string and the E string on the first fret. And I'm trying to get that finger as flat as I can, particularly this part of the knuckle. There. This knuckle can bend, but that part there is flat. And then I bring my second finger over to the C string and arch that knuckle. So that one's arched, that one's flat. It enables me to get a really good pressure on those two strings at the top. And then the second fret on the C. That means then that my first finger is already in the right place for the next chord, which is an F add 9. So I keep that first finger there and drop a finger down onto the A string, 3rd fret. There's my F add 9. So B flat 6, F add 9. And then the C, just take that first finger away. So the sequence is nice and easy if you can get that B flat confidently to start with. So, I remember one Christmas morning. Here comes the B flat, F add 9, 2 bars of C. That's the first part of section B. Then we've got the ending of section B, which involves some different chords. We've got a C5, which we haven't looked at yet. We'll look at that again in the interlude. The C5 just means a C with a fifth. One note of a C and one note of a fifth above it, which is a G. There's no third in this chord. It's neither major nor minor. And I'm playing that by having 3rd fret on the A string and 3rd fret on the E string. So we do that one for Hallelujah. Where are we? And the peal lover. Then the G add 11 just drops the string nearest the floor by 1 fret. Bell. It's just a G with a finger missing, although I'm using different fingers to play it. There's my G add 11. So if you play the C5 with 2nd and 3rd fingers, then your G add 11 becomes a lot easier because your first finger's ready for the 2nd fret. And the peal of a bell. And now an F add 9 without the top C. Christmas tree. And then a normal C. Smell. We get this lovely descending line of. So we get this. Which is why I don't really want to emphasize that top C when I get to that final C chord. Pete's just said, excellent song, one of his favourite Christmas songs, mine too. Pete was lecturing me about how he sang this solo at a work performance a few years ago. Any videos, Pete? Be great to see. Liz says, is it too early for mulled wine? I mean, no. It's Saturday. It's nearly December. Go for it. Where were we? We're on the second to last line of section B. We get this lovely descending line. That's why I don't want to play the F add 9 we normally play, because I want that open A to ring out. And then likewise when I get to the C, I want actually to emphasise this note, not this note. Although I've written a normal C in there, you could hop your finger over to the E string, play a 3rd fret, and skip out that A string. Anyway, it's details there. Then the final line is more of what we've done already, but kind of out of order. We do a C first this time. Eyes full of, then our B flat 6, tinsel, and then our F add 9. Fire, and then finish on a C. So section B, here we go. 1, 2, 2, 2. And I remember one Christmas morning, winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, eyes full of tinsel and fire. Section B is the trickiest of the piece, I think, with those B flats, and we're changing chord almost every bar, and it's not as predictable as section A. So it might be worth a bit of a practice. There's a picking pattern for that one too, which we'll go through in a minute. Then I'm going to jump back to the beginning of the sheet and look at this interlude, which is also the introduction and the outro, but it also happens in between section B and before we would go back to section A. So that's called the interlude. This is the classical piece of music from Prokofiev, and we've just got the chords written down on this sheet, so let's have a quick look at those chords first. First line is four lines long, so that's 8, 16 bars. Terrible maths this morning. My brother would be ashamed. Actually, no, he's more of a mathematician than an arithmetician. Stop talking, Tim. So we've got C5 to start with. We talked about C5 already. A C with no third. Just those 2 third frets. We do that for 4 bars. Easy enough. Then we switch to an F add 9 for 2 bars. Then back to a normal C. So again, we've got a nice progression of dum dum on the C5, dum on the F add 9, and then an open E on the C. So first 2 lines. Nice and easy so far. Then we go back to the F add 9, and then C, G7 sus4, back to the C. That line's very similar, in fact identical, to section A. Then it's slightly different on the 4th line of the interlude. F add 9, then a G straight away, and then 2 bars of C. So that interlude altogether, 2 bars in, 2 beats on each bar. 1, 2, 2, do C5, 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 F add 9, C, F add 9, C, G7, C, F add 9, G7, C. So slow that down if you need to. It's basically more of the same of what we're doing in section A, but a little bit less predictable again, a little bit out of order. Particularly that G that comes early on the 4th line. It comes before we play a C, and every other time we play the G sus4 coming after a C. Watch out for that one. That caused a few problems when I was training it on my family, which we've done extensive training for, all of 10 minutes late last night. Right, guys, that's the chords for this whole song. And the structure is nice and easy. We've got the interlude to open with, then we do section A, then we do section B, and then we do the interlude. Then we do section A, section B, and an interlude. Section A, section B, and an outro. And you can repeat that the interlude as an outro as many times as you feel is appropriate. So we'll play through the chords later on all over again, but it's really quite straightforward. It's mostly around the C, F add 9, G7 shapes going on all over the place. It doesn't want to be too fast, but it does need to move along. It's no good going, they said there'd be snow. It's just a bit too slow there, but it doesn't want to be, they said there'd be snow at Christmas. So there's a narrow window of speed here. I would suggest, they said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Right, what else can we play other than just strumming the chords? Well, the video that I recorded, which was done a long time before I started these live streams, and I had no idea it was going to be used as a tutorial, had some other ways of playing those chords. You probably noticed right at the start we had our fingerpicking line, which we'll come back to in a minute, but then underneath that we had a shimmer. We talked about this last week. What I mean by a shimmer, I'm not sure the technical name for it, is I'm just going to use the pad of my finger. I use my first finger, sometimes my second if I get a blister on the first one, and really, really lightly touch the strings. I'm barely touching them. If I press hard, I get the shimmer loses its quality. I want to be so lightly touching that you can barely hear the individual strings, and my finger can just glide over them. It's very strokey rather than hitty. And I can hold down a chord and get this kind of shimmery effect. So that works quite well underneath the interlude and maybe even underneath the first verse. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. It matches up really nicely with the picking part as well, because we get the harmonic kind of chord information without a defined kind of marching strum, which is easy to fall into here. So have a go at that shimmer. That's a really nice way of adding chords to something that doesn't need too much rhythmic information. But then the other main way of playing all of these sections is with some finger picking stuff. So we're going to have a look at the interlude first. This is the hook for me. This is why I think this song's so brilliant on the ukulele. But I've also done a very quick suggestion for how to fingerpick section A and section B. So I'm going to move to the second half of the PDF where we've got some music. It may be a bit small for you on the screen, in which case do download it, print it off yourself so you can see what's going on. And let's have a look at my favourite ukulele piece. It's in C, so we know our way around. We've done C major scales once or twice on these live streams. Worth having a go at that, because that's where our fingers are going to land. Almost always we're following the notes of the C major scale. I'm starting from open C, second fret on the C, open E, first fret on the E, third fret on the E, open A, second fret on the A, and third fret on the A. And that gives me the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Worth having a look at that if you've never played it before. Those are the notes we're going to use. And the nice thing about this fingerpicking part is that it uses a pedal note. Actually, an inverted pedal note. No, we don't have to play it with a pedal, but it's a relic from organ days when a note that was held underneath everything, or over the top of everything, but underneath everything originally, you played on the pedals. You put your foot down and you held it there while you played something gorgeous and organic, like an organ, on top of it. So it's called a pedal note. If you decided that that worked really well as a concept, but you didn't want the pedal note at the bottom, you wanted it high up in the mix, like then they call it an inverted pedal note, and that'd be something that maybe the choir boys would go la and just hold a note while everything else happened underneath them. This song has got one of those. It's got a G pedal note going on. So almost every other beat, our thumb is going to play the open G. Except in the very first bar, pretty much. Basically, where the tune lands on the beat, then immediately after that we play the G pedal note. But when the tune lands off the beat, when we've got several tune notes in a quick succession, they usually override that G. So miss out the Gs when you've got a melody note being played at the same time. But particularly in that first bar, you could add them in as well if you wanted to, but it's actually quite tricky to play. So here is the melody that I've been talking about and not playing for ages. Here we go. So hopefully you can hear that note coming through a lot, and my thumb is always ready on that note. And I'm actually playing the rest just with one finger. We could use 2 fingers or even 3 fingers, that's absolutely fine. I prefer playing this, putting 2 fingers on the ukulele's body, and then just using my thumb and my first finger. It's just how it feels most natural to me. But by all means use fingers 1, 2 and 3 on the C string, E string and A string. That's the normal rules for fingerpicking that we often use. Really useful, particularly later on when we're doing some more chord-based fingerpicking. But when you're playing a melody like this and it's constantly alternating with the thumb, one finger's actually fine. Either way. So we start off with a little run at the top of the scale. You can either do an open G or a third fret on the E. And then that's one of the quickest parts of the song. 3, 2, 0, 2, 3. That's your first bit. Emphasize all of those notes. They're all melody lows. Then we're into our alternating bit. So thumb comes in, and then I start alternating the melody. The melody itself sounds like this. Sorry. That's the melody, but in between all of those notes, da 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 da. In between all those longer notes, I'm going to put an open G. So we get this. Get it right? In that case, there in that bar, in bar number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've actually got the melody note. Actually, it's the same as the open G. So your open G fits into the melody there. So essentially, learn that melody line. And then just add in your thumb in between every note where you can. That's your first bit there. We're just using notes from the C major scale. The second bit, ba, 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 ba. I'm at the end of the first line now. Ba, 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 ba. I switch down to the C string to give me a slight bit of depth going on. Get that in tune. Then the melody comes in. Da, da. I put accents on the melody notes, by the way, so you know which ones they are. Ba, 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 ba. There's the first. That's the only tricky rhythm in here. Ba, 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 ba. Last bar of the second line. Ba, 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 ba. So I'm doing a third fret on the E, immediately followed by a thumb, and then very quickly followed by a first fret on the E. And then to finish with, I'm just alternating between the G and C. So once more, slowly through that interlude. 1 and 2 and 2 and 2 and... So, it's not the easiest bit in the world to pick, but once you get there, it's really satisfying. You can go at quite a lick with that alternating pattern because your thumb just goes automatically. And it can go really fast because you're not having to think about it too much. There's one bit where I use a pull-off rather than a picking it. Yeah, on that fast bit on the last bar of the second line on the sheet, I pull off to that open E string. 3, 1, 0. I pull off on the 1 and 0. I haven't marked that on. All the others I pick individually. For that first bar on the third line, I also do a roll. So I do. So I actually squash both of the top two strings down with that ring finger, so that I can, without moving my finger over, still play that A string as well. And the only other thing to say about this is let the notes ring on. Normally when we're playing melody, I say to a lot of my pupils, it's a melody, one note at a time. I don't want to hear those two notes ringing into each other. That sounds messy. Normally when we play a melody, that's the rule. But in this case, it's very in the campanella style, which sounds like little bells in Italian, I think. And we want these notes to ring on as if they were done on little tiny bells. So normally then, if I'm playing... I would stop each note, but I want those notes to ring over the top of each other because they mesh really nicely. Right, I think that's enough talk on that section, although that's my favourite section of the whole piece. Do enjoy that and have a go at it. I think it's not that hard to play and really satisfying. Then when we get to section A, here is a finger picking pattern for you. This time I'm using, for section A, I'm actually using, again, thumb and one finger, thumb and first finger in some sort of gun shape. When we're talking about finger picking, have your thumb pointing along the strings, almost parallel to them, and keep your wrist straight. My whole arm's more or less straight here. Thumb is parallel to the strings. My fingers are curled up so that they can reach each one of those strings easily if they need to. But at the moment, I'm just using first finger and thumb. So I'm holding down the chords that we learnt already for section A, and it sounds like this. I think it's a really pleasant little line there. So here's our F add 9, but I'm starting with my first finger on the E string, then the thumb, and then my first finger on the A string, and then my thumb. So get used to that motion. We're going to be using that along. First finger, thumb, first finger thumb, but I'm swapping the strings over, so that's the E string first, then the A string. Then we do the same thing for the C chord next. Just take that first string away, same pattern again. Both things together, 1 and 2 and... Then we go to the G7 sus4 chord. Same pattern again, but now I'm shifting to the C string and the E string rather than the E string and the A string. That's right, yeah. And then for the final C chord, I'm using the E string first and then the C string. So all those 4 bars slowly, 1 and 2 and... And again. The words on top. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Hard to sing it slowly and focus on playing the right notes. We do that 4 times through, because we'll do, but instead it just kept on raining, veil of tears for the virgin birth. 4 times through, an identical picking. Section B is a little bit more fiddly. Same chords though. The chords we've already learned is what we're going to hold down in the left hand. Here's our B flat 6, and we're going to use a picking pattern that goes uses all of our fingers this time. So I'm going to use first finger for the C string, second finger for the E string, third finger for the A string, and thumb for the G. And we're going to go second, first, thumb, third for the first 8 bars of this. So get your fingers used to that. We do it once on the B flat 6, then once on the F add 9, then once on the C, sorry, twice on the C, and we do it again, so that bit again with the words 1 and 2 and they said, no, what is it? I can't remember the words. I remember one Christmas morning. It is I remember, get it right in, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and I remember one Christmas morning, a winter's light and a distant choir. It feels a bit confusing because the lowest note we play is the second one we play. Then for the next little bit, I want a really bell-like approach, so I'm going to use third, second, first thumb, walking down the strings, walking up the strings towards my head from the floor. Here's the C5, then the G add 11, then the F add 9, and then I'm going to use the same pattern I used before for the start of section B for the all the way till the end. B flat 6, F add 9, and C. So section B all together. Through 1 and 2 and I remember one Christmas morning, a winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, eyes full of tinsel and fire. So it's just a case of remembering which patterns you're using with the right hand. That's by far the trickiest part of the song, I would say, particularly that B flat section. So don't worry if it doesn't come straight away. Repetition and practice will legitimize and make you perfect. In the end, perfection is a high task, a high ideal, but why not aim for it? It's 10:05. We're almost ready to play through the whole song. Do let me know in the chat if there's any bits you want me to go over again, or anything that I've forgotten to say, or people I've forgotten to thank, or if I'm wearing uncoordinated clothes or something. I mean, look at the hat. But otherwise, let's have a check what we've done. So I'm going to turn the page back to the chords so you can see what's going on. And there we go. I think we're almost ready to play through. So I'm going to go and get Sophia. Before I do, I shall do my normal thing of saying thank you for watching. If you're still watching by now, that means you're either watching live and you can't skip ahead to the performance, or you're a dedicated follower of the channel and you appreciate good music. In which case, please do consider supporting this channel to make, supporting me to make these videos. All of the resources I'm making are free. The videos are free to watch. The chords are free to download. They're not my songs. I can't sell them to you. But it takes a lot of time to make these videos, as I've discovered. I started out trying to make 2 of these tutorials every week. So 2 new songs every week. Whereas before lockdown, we used to do maybe 2 or 3 songs every term. So it's quite a shock how much work these things involve. If they are fun, if they help you get through your weekends or get through your life, if they're helping you get through playing the ukulele, then do consider supporting me to make them so I can keep making them. We don't know what the situation is going to be like after Christmas. Hopefully we'll do something like this carrying on. Who knows, we might be all vaccinated and ready to go back to the world, or we may be locked down further. We don't know. But musicians all over the world are struggling. There's no performance opportunities. All of our Christmas concerts are cancelled. We're doing video recordings instead, which take twice as long to do, if not 3 times or 4 times as long. And we don't get an audience. You are my audience this morning. Thank you for watching. And if you like the channel, do consider supporting me. There's a link in the description to Patreon or PayPal. All the details are there. Right. Bluesy version. I'm going to go and get Sophia and we'll play through this whole song. Righty-ho. Let's move this stuff out of the way. As you can see, my room's incredibly tidy. You can't see the floor.
Like always.
As always. Door.
Oh. Traditions have to be kept.
You got your hat on too?
Yep.
Fantastic. It's a bit early for Christmas hats.
No.
But it's 1st of Advent next week. Our trees. Tomorrow is what I meant to say there.
Yes.
And our tree's going to go up tomorrow, maybe today.
Who knows?
My fairy lights have been up since November last year. It's the whole year, folks. The whole year of fairy lights. Right, we're going to play through I Believe in Father Christmas. Have I said how much I really like this song? I do wish you a hopeful Christmas and a brave new year. Should have saved these sentiments for the very last live stream of the year, but I do wish you all that. And I hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the collaboration links that you'll only get if you sign up to the mailing list. The link is in the description. Like and subscribe to the video, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Tim. Let's play some music, for goodness sake. 1, 2, 1. We're in 2. 1, 2, 2, 2. Just hold that chord for a bit. Here we go. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth. Keep it straight. But instead it just kept on raining. A veil of tears for the virgin birth. And I remember one Christmas morning, winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, eyes full of tinsel and fire. They sold me a dream of Christmas. They sold me a silent night. They told me a fairy story till I believed in the Israelite. And I believed in Father Christmas, and I looked to the sky with excited eyes till I woke with a yawn in the first light of dawn, and I saw him through his disguise. I wish you a hopeful Christmas, and I wish you a brave new year, and all anguish and pain and sorrow, leave your heart and let your road be clear. They said there'd be snow at Christmas, they said there'd be peace on earth, hallelujah, Noel, be it heaven or hell, Christmas we get, we deserve. Yeah. Guys, it's not quite Christmas yet, but I hope you have a hopeful one. And we're going to do some more Christmas songs probably next week. I'm sorry, Andy. It's Christmas season, okay? Don't kill me. And hope you have a great week in the meantime. See you next time.